What's goody, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another video. So today we're working on a couple minute things, but this is mainly gonna be the fuel system video. I have everything for the fuel system so we can start working on the fuel system. But right now, I was trying to get this big old Ultimate Skunk 2 race intake to fit. I did have to modify a couple things. So first thing I had to modify, I had to delete the whole pulley system. So there's a whole pulley system that goes here. It's over here somewhere. The pulley's right there, but yeah, that right there. So that system normally goes here. What I had to do is I had to cut that bracket off the water pump just to get this to fit. We're running a 90 millimeter Ross Machine Racing throttle body, so I got to get all this to work out. I do need the smaller wheel that I have on the way. And then we're gonna have our throttle cable come underneath the turbo and come this direction. That way we'll be able to work that. But with that being said, since I did go with this intake, I do have to change up a lot of stuff with the whole setup. So I have to get the K-tune version of this, the coolant port, the one that comes off like this, because as you can see, a whole intake's here, so we won't be able to actually put a hose in here. So we have to get the one that comes off this way, and then we'll wrap it underneath into our radiator. So with that, that's almost all done. Still waiting on stuff to come in the mail. That's the only thing we're waiting on. Currently still putting together our wagon diff. I'm waiting on my bracket that goes on here with the pole that comes off, so that way I can hold it and actually torque this down too. Next thing, we got our ARP studs in our spindles. So I'm now putting together our whole rear end with the control arms and everything back together. That way we're able to get all this stuff in, get the brake pads back on, or the brake calipers back on. The only thing I'm waiting on for those brake calipers is the braided steel brake lines, because I'm not gonna run these rubber lines anymore. I'm gonna go to braided steel. Once we get the braided steel, they'll match the front braided steel, and then we'll have everything for the rear. So still got to bolt in the battery box as well. So that's where we're at right now. But while we're waiting on other parts, we can at least start the fuel system. So let's get in the car, let's get the fuel system out, and let's start working on that. All right, guys, so now we're going to be building our fuel system. So I have numerous things here. I'll explain everything for you. So right here, we have our Hellcat 525 fuel pump. That's what we're going to be running in the car. We're just going to be running one of those. We have our E85 sensor. As you see, there's two 6AN fittings on. This will be in our return line to give me a reading on my E85. These fittings are going to go for our line here. This line is going to run off our siphon that we got for radium. It's a siphon because we do have a saddle style fuel tank. I'm using the stock Mini Cooper fuel tank in this thing, so it's a saddle. So what that means is let's imagine like a rectangle, right? There's a cutout that looks like it's a saddle on the back of a horse. It's a cutout for the drive shaft. So one side of the tank might have fuel in it, and then the other side will have our pump in it. So the pump will be draining from the side where it's sitting at. The other side won't drain because that saddle. So you have to buy one of these siphons. You don't have to, actually. There's a way of getting around to not use this, but I figure if you're going to go high horsepower in these Mini Coopers, might as well invest and get you a siphon. Radium sells these siphons, so what I do with that is I cut a piece of this, I send this on the other side of the tank, and it draws that fuel from that side of the tank through the siphon to put it back on the side where the pump is. So first step, you want to get in the car. You want to go ahead and remove this hat here. It's all 10 millimeter bolts. Go ahead and remove this hat, pry it off, and then it will expose the fuel hat. All right, so I already removed the hat on both sides. We're going to be trying to remove everything out of the tank as much as possible. Like I said earlier in the video, I'm going to be doing away with the sump system that's in there already. We're going to put an aftermarket sump, and we're going to try to figure this out. So right now I need to knock this hat loose and pull the whole fuel pump out. So let's do that. All right, so I already took the pump out. What I kind of did is I had this Hellcat pump. I inserted the pump, like took all the guts out, inserted the filter on the pump, put the pump in here. So now it's in there. It's like a little sturdy in there. Now we're gonna insert the hose on here. What I'm gonna do with the fuel hat is I'm gonna cut this little nipple off here. This is gonna be my return. It's gonna pump through this part right here, and I'll be able to add my siphon in somewhere in here. And then on the other side here, I'm gonna drill a hole so that way we can add our feed line on this side. So let me get the fitting so we can start doing that. Just like that, cut the nipple off. Now we're gonna add this fitting here for our return. It should snap right into place like so. That way we have a return. This is going to be a 6N. Now we have to drill a hole here to use this fitting for our feed. So let me go ahead and start drilling a hole. All right, so I drilled a hole and then I cut a little access. That way I can get the little nut onto the little, I forgot what this thing's called, what kind of fitting this is. Leave me a comment in the description. Let me know what fitting this is. I keep forgetting what this fitting is called, but let me know what fitting this is. But we're gonna put that in and I'll show you what it looks like after. All right guys, so I messed up the first like pump completely. Wasn't really my fault. It's a whole different like water fuel pump than the other one. If you can see, this one has a bigger like fuel pump. I don't know if this is a John Cooper Works pump. I don't know. I'm gonna look the serial number on it and see what it is. It's way bigger than this fuel pump. As you can see, this one is out of the R56 Mini Cooper. That's what I got this one out of. Let me see what was in it. So I don't know what the different pump is, but this one came with a whole bigger basket. Like the basket's a little bigger than this basket, which our Hellcat pump is. And I can take it out. Let me take it out real quick. So this is how our Hellcat pump is going to be sitting in the tank. All I literally did was pull the old pump out, cut this whole little carrier in half, and then slid the pump in and just put a little clamp around it. So now it goes right in and it clamps right in like OEM. This is good for us. There we go. Yeah, it clamps right in like OEM. That's really good. Won't have a problem with that thing sitting in there. And now we just have to fix our hat. The reason I got a new hat is because I tried to run a return and feed off the same hat. When I went to go try to plug in our hat, this plug, this little 8AN little banjo fitting here got in the way. So that will not work for us, sadly. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to cut this little nipple here. As you can see, the nipple off. And I'm gonna cut this nipple off, and I'm just gonna run the feed right through that hole right there. That way it's out of the way and it's cleaned up. Like I said, this is a R56 fuel pump, so you have to swap the wirings here because they ran backwards. This wire normally is here and this wire is here on the R53, so you have to swap these two wires when you run the R56 fuel pump assembly. So let me finish this up so I can show you what it looks like, and then we can move on from there. All right guys, so just like that, we have an 8AN little fitting through our hat. I just had to keep drilling away until I got the hole big enough, and then use a step bit to go one size up, and now it's perfect. So yeah, we got that in. Now we have to connect it to our little housing and connect the hose to the 8AN feed. All right, just like that. Now we have our hose running into our fitting. Don't mind the hose. I had to run it like that so it won't crimp up or anything like that. It's the easiest way for me to do it. So now we have to splice these wires into those right there. I'm pretty sure the brown goes to black and red goes to red. So we have to splice these in. I'm gonna use some of these like heat shrink kind of little doodaddys right there, heat shrink crimps, so that way we can heat shrink them and no wires are exposed. Then once we get this together, I'll show you how I made the sending unit. All right, so these are the kind of crimps I'm using. They're like a seal proof kind of crimp. Once you crimp them, you heat them up with like a torch or a lighter or anything like that, and it actually seals both ends, so that way we won't have any
anything getting inside of there. So I'm gonna heat this up, shrink it, and do the other one, and I'll let you know. I'll show you the finished product. All right, so that's your finished product right there. Heated them up. This one's still trying to cool. Once they cool down, they get rock solid, so that way these won't come apart, and if they're crimped in the middle as well. So then I can just plug that right up into there, and then this one will be all ready to drop in for our feed. So this is our fuel pump. All right, so this is my return style bucket. So it's only just like a hat basically, but I needed to put the leveler because they balance out between both to tell you how much gas is in the tank. So I have this, I have a 6 AN on top of that one, then I have an 8 AN on that one. Ran the hose through it, that way I can run the hose to this siphon. This is a radium siphon. All right, so this is kind of the contraption I'm working with here. Got my siphon running the hose into the tank that this is gonna sit on. Then I got the other hose that's gonna be running over to our fuel pump housing. That way this can sit right, this hose right here, this hanging can sit right inside the little hanger right there. Put my finger right there. All right, so now I got the return installed. It's gonna be 190 degree off of this one, and then now I'm getting the fuel pump installed. It's gonna be a 90 degree off of that one as well. But first I need to grab that connector in there and that hose, because that goes into the bucket as well. So once I get that in, I'll show you what the finished product looks like overall. Don't mind me if I'm sweating, it's hot in here. The sun's beaming literally in here. Whew. Just testing to see if the hats fit, but here's my feed. It's all sealed up and everything. And here's my return with the siphon running across into this tank. Then I got my other hose for it's going to be picking up the fuel from this side. It's like curled up on this side. Then I have both levelers working. Well, I don't know if they're working yet. I have to still fire up the car to see if they're working, but both levelers are hooked up. Now we have to run our line from the white, and there's like a white wire on here, or you can run it from the front, right from the fuse box. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'm actually going to run mine here on the back because I have a long red wire somewhere over there that I need to run to it. But that's pretty much it for that. All right, so that's how you install a 525 Hellcat pump into a Mini Cooper. You need a R56 fuel pump, that housing from a R56. It's the best one to use. Like I said, I don't know what this housing is. This is a 2005 Mini Cooper. I don't know what housing this is. I've never seen this housing before. Might be at AutoZone cheapy that they threw in, but I don't know. I've never seen this one. If anybody knows what that one is, let me know. But that's how you install that. That's how I'm installing the fuel pump in there. I got a return, I got a feed. Now we just have to run lines over to our intake manifold. We're still waiting on spacers here. I don't think I showed you guys that we got a bunch of stuff done on here. We got our headers over there. Got that thing in. Got our K-Tune. Got our Ross Machine Racing 90mm throttle body with a smaller wheel on it. That way our pedal can still open it fully. We still have all our other stuff coming, so we will have that done soon. A little tired. I'm about to go in the house and eat, drink some water. But we still got to hook the wiring up. I'm not doing the wiring yet. I'm going to do the wiring last. But as you can see, we have a Hellcat pump in our stock Mini Cooper tank. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm tired, man. Next video, I'll probably make the lines for this thing. I made one of my lines here for our fuel rail. It's gonna loop from our fuel rail going into our regulator. I like to do my regulator after the fuel. That way we're not cavitating our fuel at all, but it's still getting regulated. It's just getting regulated after. So get that. Hopefully that whole fuel system and everything works. I wish I could have fired it up to check, but it should work.